Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. Those of you who are new to the group, hello, nice to see you. My name is Jen. I am the founder of this group, and this group is all about women's health, encouraging women to move more, look after themselves from a food perspective, look after themselves from a stress, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of wanted to talk about a bit of mindset today in the group. I have previously shared more like practical things. So if you are interested in the practical things, please search the group or just ask in the group and I can give you some ideas of what to do from an exercise perspective and nutrition perspective and sleep and stress management, for example. But today I wanted to talk about mindset, and this is often something that holds people back. Hi, if you're watching, please say hello to me. And if you're watching on the replay, of course, let me know that you have watched. And also just comment on anything that I have to say, whether you agree with me or whether you don't agree with me. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and it's good to have these discussions about it. So yeah, I wanted to talk about mindset about women's bodies, because there's a lot of people out there who think it's okay to comment on women's bodies, and this is a mix of both men and women or people who identify as different genders. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are happy to comment on women's bodies, and I put a post on my personal profile. If you're not friends with me, feel free to add me. I'm happy to make friends with you so you can see what I post. But I posted about Selena Gomez. There's been a lot about her in recent years, and the two comments that I got on that post were both from women, and they were both commenting on her body, and that was not the intention of the post. I actually, in the comments of that post, and please go and read it, I will pop it in the comments after this so you can have a read. But yeah, the intention around the post was to get people to think about commenting on women's bodies. Is it a necessary thing? But also women to think about how their bodies change throughout the decades, well, not just the decades, but throughout our life. And I talked about women starting puberty from women in puberty kind of from the age of 8 to like 16, 17, for example. And girls' bodies start changing. We start developing breasts and all that good stuff. And we start looking like fully grown women. And that's a big change for people. When we hit our 20s, this is when we potentially might start comparing ourselves to our teenage years, but we still tend to have the bodies of that teenager, especially early on in the 20s. But this is the time when we start pretending to be adults, because we're all pretending all the time, right? But this is the time in life where we're pretending to be adults. We're discovering who we are as humans. Being in our 20s is fun, but it can be quite difficult, especially mentally and socially. We're trying to discover what we want to do in terms of our careers, whether we're starting a business, we're going into a career, we're traveling the world, we want to maybe buy a house, maybe we don't want to buy a house. Do we want kids? We're looking for a life partner, or maybe we're not. But our 20s is full of lots of questions. It's all about answering questions, and at this point we often get a lot more freedom than what we did in our younger years, in our teenage years, and this is where our lifestyle choices could be a little bit questionable, and I'm talking from experience here. I personally drank probably more alcohol than I should have. I probably ate more fast food than I should have. I was working very, very long hours, 50 plus hours a week, and that meant that I was tired and I didn't go to the gym, or I didn't exercise in a way that I wanted to. So yeah, there's just lots going on in our 20s, which, yeah, women's bodies do settle during this time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the lifestyle choices that we make don't change our bodies. And we all know here, if you eat too much, you put on a bit more body fat, so your size might change. You might struggle from a mental health perspective because of all these decisions that you're making, and that might change your body as well. So there's just lots of things going on. Then we hit our 30s, and our 30s is when our bodies start to change. We're not quite perimenopausal, but there are changes to our hormones. A lot of women have had kids by then, and obviously when we have kids, that switches up hormones as well. But even women who haven't had kids, our hormones are starting to change. This is the perfect time for women's bodies to add a little bit more fat than what we're used to in our 20s. And also as I say, our hormone panels changes, which does have an impact on a lot of bodily functions. So this is a great time to head over to your GP and get a hormonal panel just to make sure everything is working all good. But then we hit the perimenopause stage, and this is when our body fat can go up. A lot of women do tend to put more weight on. They tend to lose muscle mass. There's obviously a hell of a lot of symptoms going on with the perimenopausal side of things, from an energy perspective, from a mental health perspective. There's so much going on. If you're in the 45 to 55 age group, and you don't know much about perimenopause, I would encourage you to have a Google. Find out as much as you can about perimenopause, and reach out if you think you are in perimenopause, and get some support in that. And I'm happy to answer your questions on that side of things as well. If you do need the support, I'm currently running, helping run a workshop, a 5-week workshop for perimenopausal women. So I've got a decent knowledge behind it that I can help point you in the right direction, and get you the support that you need. But that time of life changes. And then once we get past perimenopause, we're a little bit more settled again, but we're starting to deal with an aging body, and that in itself has its own challenges. So just in that very much garbled blah, 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 that is a lot of years, from 8 to like 55, and then obviously onwards. That's so many years that our bodies are changing as women. Yet there's so many comparisons out there on the internet and wider, and just in general life, comparing women in their early 20s to the early 30s to the early 40s, and women's bodies have changed. And I did that post on Selena Gomez. She's got lupus as well, on top of her body just changing because she's gone from 22 to 32, and she looks healthy in both. And there's people saying she looks better older, she looks better younger, blah 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 blah. But does it matter? As long as she is healthy in both images and healthy in both parts of her life, does it matter? I personally look at her 22-year-old body and go, she looks 22, but she looks like a healthy 22-year-old, you know? She does. She looks healthy, she looks fit. I look at her body at 32, and she looks like a healthy 32-year-old, you know? Yeah, her body has changed. She probably does have a little bit more of a higher fat percentage, but she still looks within that healthy range. And this is what's so important, is that you don't know what's going on with people. She maybe could keep that same body fat going on and look the same, but why do people feel the need to comment on women's bodies? Why do you want to say that she looks better at 22 or looks better at 32? It really doesn't matter. And one of the people, and I'm not going to call her out because everyone, as I said at the start, is entitled to their own opinion, but one of the people who commented said that, well, you know what, you shouldn't try and control people's thoughts and let people think what they want to think. And people will say what they want to say, but maybe you just need to ignore what they're saying. You know, don't take into consideration what they're saying. And I get that point of view, but at the same time, why not treat everybody with respect? Don't comment on people's bodies, and understand that if you comment on someone's body, it could still have a negative impact on them. It's easier said than done, than actually going, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, I don't care what they think. Because people do comment on people's bodies. I've had my loved ones comment on my body, and it's not been malicious, it's not been mean, but it has left a thought in my head. And I'm a pretty strong person, and I do tend to go, yeah, okay, I'm just going to ignore that comment. That's completely fine. I'm not going to let it bother me. But there's people out there who really would struggle with just a slight comment on their bodies. So essentially, this is just about having a think about what you think about people, about your own body, and what you think about other people's bodies, and what would you tell a friend, a true friend. Would you comment on their body and say, hey, you look better 10 years ago, or you look better than you did 10 years ago, or whatever it might be? And just think about that impact on you commenting on what they look like. I want you to flip this script a little bit in your own brain. So if you're currently struggling from a body image perspective, there's so many people out there. There'll be so many people in this group that are, so don't feel alone. Please don't feel alone in that. Everyone will think about how their body is feeling. I personally know that, especially when I'm getting up to the PMS side of things, I do struggle with PMS, and I hold a lot of, I retain a lot of water. And at that point, I feel extremely fluffy, and I'll look at myself and I'll be judgmental about myself, and I'll be like, oh, I work really hard at my health and look after my fitness, yet here we go, I feel like the Michelin man kind of thing. And that is a negative thought on my front. So here's a call to you and to me and everybody who is thinking about their body in a negative way. I want you to flip the script a little bit and not even think about what you're looking about. Thinking about how you're feeling on the inside, and think about the positive changes. If you are thinking about fat loss, for example, or building muscle or whatever it might be, the positive changes to your health and fitness that it will have by focusing on the things that will help improve your body image and focusing on that instead. So we're thinking about if you're improving your nutrition, your food, that's the same thing, your exercise, your sleep, your stress, your mental health, whatever it might be. I want you to have a think about how that will positively impact you as an individual. How will it impact your life? Will you have more energy? Will you have more confidence? Will you have more independence? Will you be able to lift heavier things up and not have to ask for help? There's a lady who I've just been working with. She actually has lupus as well, thinking about Selena Gomez. And she used to get her gas bottles, so the big gas bottles for her caravan. And she always asked for help to get it back into her car. And she came to me the other week and went, I don't need to do that anymore. So there's the independent side of things. Being strong, will it improve your bone density? Yes, it will. Will it improve your heart health? Will it reduce the chance of you having a heart attack? Will it reduce the chance of you having a stroke? Will it improve your kidney function? Will it improve the way your skin feels? Will it improve your sleep? Whatever it might be, I want you to just completely think about how looking after yourself from a health and fitness perspective, how it will positively impact your life. And I don't want any of those answers to be about how you look. So I hope this has triggered some thoughts in your head. I would love to know what your thoughts are, what your opinions are. Obviously, the start of this is very much my opinion, and it's a bit of kind of a passion topic of mine. So I just would love to know where you are from that perspective, what you think about commenting on other people's bodies, if you think it could be positive in some way, if you are on the same page as me, whether you've had an experience of someone commenting on your body. Let us know, let us share in the group. This is a community here, so share with each other. And I don't want you to feel afraid of commenting if you don't agree with it. Like I said, the lady who's commented on my post on my public profile, she has her own opinions, and that's completely fine. And I think it's really healthy to have these discussions. So let me know what you think, and also if you feel comfortable, post in the group how focusing on your health and fitness will impact your life outside of your body, and outside of how you look. I would love for you to share that, because it's really going to inspire people to go, oh yeah, I am going to improve my heart health. Oh, I'm going to be able to spend more time in the park with the kids. I'm not going to feel out of breath going up the stairs. I'll be able to carry my shopping home, whatever it might be. All these things are so positive, and I would really love it for you all to acknowledge that looking after your health and fitness is going to have such a huge impact on your life. If you're struggling from that side of things and you need some support getting there, I am here. I do have my accountability online membership, Scrap the Skills, which is called Scrap the Skills because we want to move you away from how heavy you are, which does help with your food, your exercise, your mindset, all that good stuff, but in a really easy, manageable way. It's not about doing crazy workouts. It's about fitting in the small exercises throughout the day so you're getting into a habit of exercising. It's about just tweaking your diet so that you can make the improvements and just slowly tweaking it over time so you're not overhauling everything like the crazy diets that are out there. It's about being sensible and fitting things into your life. And it's about switching up that mindset so that you're thinking about your health and fitness versus the way that you look. So that's only $4 US dollars to join for your first month. So if you are feeling like you need that support, I would recommend that you come along and join. If you want to chat to me about it to see if it's actually suitable for you, feel free to drop me a message. More than happy to have a chat with you. Similarly, if you're like, I need more support than that, I've got slots in my one-to-one open round about probably 3 slots open for my one-to-one. So if you are interested in that little bit more support, you need the accountability on a one-on-one perspective, I'm more than happy to help you out with that as well. So just drop me a message and we can have a chat about how I can help. But I can't wait to see what you come up with in terms of how your health is going to be benefited and how your life is going to be benefited from focusing on your health and fitness. All right, I'm going to jump off now. Keep going, guys. You're all smashing it, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.